Recording in progress.
Hello, amazing people. What a time. What a time to be alive. What a time to be in the Speaking Academy. What a time to be a speaker on the most epic online stage. All right, you all, some people are still joining. You're already here. Um, what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna pour into the people who just shared. We're gonna go through them one by one, and we're gonna share some like a rainbow of compliments, a rainbow of appreciation, just to anchor in the feeling. This will happen to you in 4 weeks from now, or a little bit later today as well. Then afterwards, when we have more time, we will focus on what are the specific things that you can take away for your specific speech that you are able to do in 4 weeks from now. So let's start with amazing Linda. Who would love to share first the compliments that you have for amazing Linda? Nilsa, let's start.
Amazing, Linda. I love you. You're amazing. I love your story. She takes me back because I start listening to some of the things she says. And when her father said something to her in Spanish, deja ser tonta. Like, oh my God, that's what parents used to do back then. And this is the next 100 years of innovation as life is going fast. And our parents want to instill in us what they live, but life went forward. So when they say no seas tonta, they don't even really know what that means because we're already in a different world. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. I love the story. I love the title of the story, Raised Above the Storm of Life. I think you went like, I mean, there's a whole book there, Linda. You have like 12, there was like 12 titles for different chapters of books, and it could be called Raised Above the Storm of Life. I love the way you set the pictures. So you start with the story, and then I can see the pictures. I can see the picture of you sailing, tying up your kids. And I love when you said you have a child, your boy is in your belly. And your husband's at the helm. So I can see the cloud coming. I can see those pictures. And I also feel your heart, how you're so concerned about your brother. I mean, you really love this kid. And just the words you use, the responsibility of weight. And then you go into the cute guy, the eye contact. So I'm not going to go on to some everybody else can share, but I mean, like a balance sheet, or when I'm preparing financial statements that I have to go line item by line item, you gave me the possibility of seeing this with your words, but in my world of creating different balance sheets. So that's what I got from you. Thank you.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And for everybody who's tuning in a little after, we're giving rainbows of appreciation for all the speakers today. We're starting with Linda, and Nilsa just shared. Charlene, what do you have as a compliment rain for Linda? What did she do amazingly well?
Amazing, Linda. What can I say? I can only add to what Nilsa was saying about your stories. You have great stories, and when you quoted your father in Spanish, it did really get my attention. It also added a layer of your background that was unexpected, and it's sort of a personal touch. The stories about your brother, and I think just the whole structure of awareness, action, and awareness, acceptance, and action. And I think I said this the first time I heard this talk, was that very first story, the awareness of the storm coming, the acceptance that you must do something and you do whatever's within your power, and then the action. And I'm going to tie it to Nilsa's talk, because in a way you are sort of helping people, you're helping set up what caregiving is going to look like for the next 100 years and what it's looked like in the past. What is it going to look like? As there's automation, there's all kinds of robotics, there's lots of things that we're going to be interacting with to help people who are in need So the self-care aspect as caregivers is so important, to have the self-care, the awareness, so that we can have our own oxygen mask on, to use a pretty well-known metaphor. So, and I just know that you're the person who has the goods for that. So thank you for your talk. And it was really amazing. You used your script, but you know what? It was beautiful. It was really beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the breakthrough when you were talking about your brother. You started laughing and you sort of relaxed a little bit. And I would love to just see more of that. Just trust your stories. You've got them. Thank you.
So good. Last compliment, or everybody. Okay, let's make sure that we have time for everybody. Mari, what do you want to share for Amazing Linda?
I just have to say wow, 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 because like Matthew McConaughey, I don't know what he says, but I remember. But I contacted her already, and I'm filling up the form. Every single thing that you talked about hit me to the core, honestly, because I'm taking care of my mom, and I'm just going through this. But then when you said about your brother, I mean, gosh, you hit it right there too. And the 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 advice of the 3 A's, you know, clarity, resilience, real change, but I just was thinking this is not a coincidence, you know, when you're having trouble with your brother, when you're talking about the sailing, when you're having issues about the family and all this stuff. I just can't say enough how well you put, also you brought people into, you engaged them into where you were, how it looked, all this situation. So thank you so much. You really touched me.
Wow. Wow, Linda, how is that to hear?
Well, I'm honored that these are all acclaimed people and they have such kind words. I mean, everybody's established, everybody's been doing this, and here I see, I feel the confidence now to move forward.
Yes. Yes.
So that is definitely has been worth this journey.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And before we go to Nilsa, Linda, do you hear the profoundness of what Mari is sharing? She said, you as an expert, I need you. But the fact that you were talking about sailing, which means a lot to me because I made a documentary about sailing, which is the biggest passion of my life. And the fact that you were willing to talk about sailing made me even more connected with you. When you shared about your brother, I don't know, Mari, about anything with your brother, but you shared something like there's a lot with brother as well. So the fact, do we see how important these personal stories are? Because if we're just talking about caretaking, we might spark an intellectual, I need this. But now Mari is completely open because you were willing to share personal stories. And somehow Mari said, this cannot be a coincidence. You were so specific and all your stories, including the Spanish language, right? Everything was like funneled to Mari. And everybody else are their own experience because they have different relationships with the different subjects you were talking about. You did so well. I'm so proud of you. And you worked so hard on it. Well done.
Thank you, everybody.
Let's go to
It is
Jackie.
a book. It is a book.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go. Let's go to Jackie, who would love to share the first compliment rain for Jackie.
I would.
Let's go.
Jackie, I loved your talk. I didn't really know much about you, and I didn't hear you, walking through your speech in our course. I missed that. So I really had no idea about you. I kind of knew what you did, but I didn't know about you. So I love the self-disclosure. It was really used so well, about where you were born. You left a lot of hooks hanging, right from the beginning. And I just took notes about the little hooks. I was born in Africa, what? and you actually never revealed why you're a traveling brat. You said you're not an army brat, but I suspect it's a mission. I don't know, but you never actually closed out that hook or made good on that. So just letting you know. It keeps people wanting to know more, obviously. I loved your metaphor of using the lily pads and how we do move from lily pad to lily pad, and we don't take time to reflect on what that lily pad actually created in us and through us and for us. Who do we get to become? Who do we choose to become? I think was a beautiful, beautiful message. And I love the concept of rewriting stories. I have heard of this technique before, but sometimes I forget that I have the power to do that. So the reminder that we don't have to just revisit the past, we can actually rewrite the stories as we would have wanted them to be. And the mind doesn't really know the difference. So then we get to really choose more who we are and who we are becoming. So the message was really strong. The story was very clear. Well done. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And how fun, Jackie, that Charlene starts with the fact that you traveled a lot, because Charlene traveled a lot too. You see how this all comes back. Like the way we feel emotionally engaged is because you're willing to share specific parts of yourself that really resonate with other people. Charlene, I think you put in the chat, you've been to 15 countries, right?
Well, I moved 15 times just while I was living in Europe and the UK. In just under 6 years, I moved 15 times. There's
Right?
a lot of lily pads and a lot of stories around those moves and why I moved and all the adventures that happened just in that little sequence of my life. And I've traveled all over the world. So it was really awesome.
So there's like these emotional connections. We see this now with the sailing with Linda. We see this now with the traveling. Carolyn, what did you think Jackie did absolutely amazingly well?
Well, I really resonated with Jackie because I was a brat. And there was one year we moved 5 times. I ended up in the classroom at the beginning and I had the same classroom, same teacher 9 months later. I love the metaphor of the lily pads. It's a hop, a jump. And I did always feel like a bit of a frog, but I've become a princess. It's okay. But I love the idea of the lily pads, and you really took me back to my childhood, into my life about I am super self-resilient. I'm super independent. That resonated so much with me. I can get through anything. I can do anything. But then I changed somewhere in that, and I started revisiting my lily pads. I now know I can go revisit my lily pads, and I have a plethora of stories to rewrite as I please. I have a future to rewrite as I please. So this was so powerful to me in my life and the stories, and you put it in a beautiful book. This is also a book. I'm sure you have a life of lots of stories. So thank you so much, because it gave me a whole new set of tools to use in my storytelling. Thank you, Jackie.
Beautiful. Isn't that so fun? Right? every single person. There were 13 people watching besides the people. 13 individuals. We just hear from like 5 who weren't like in the backstage, right? There's 8 more people who just had profound moments that listened to your whole entire thing. Also with promoting your service, sometimes we think we need the big stages, the big audiences. But when we can leave a real profound impact on 5 people, like there's nothing more impactful and also converting than small rooms and really go deep on an emotional level. All right, I want to hear from Linda and Naomi, and then we go to Nilsa. Linda, what do you think Jackie was doing phenomenally well?
Jackie, you brought me in so quickly. It was like you were just having a conversation with somebody. This is who I am. This is what my life looked like. It was very natural for you, which I liked, that it was totally brought me in. You had numerous messages. Your vulnerability, you kept that in control because you were very vulnerable in all that you expressed. And I can relate
to that vulnerability. I love the fact, for me, the messaging was, don't let your past define you. You've got choices, and how to take them. And I also like the fact of how you went to your coach and how that was what made you realize what you needed to do. So that was good advice. You did a beautiful job. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So good. Naomi.
Oh my gosh, yeah, just building on what everybody said and also what Linda just said. It felt like we could have been having a coffee together. It was so conversational. It felt so intimate. You pulled me in. The vulnerability was it was just perfect. I felt so like my heart just like opened up. Because of the way that you presented and also just your stories. And can I just say your use of the 3 C's? Hello, like you are the coolest, the traveler, the creative, the entrepreneur. And I really love how you talked about community and being able to rely on community. Honestly, altogether, like these keynotes, I feel so reflected in them because, with Linda, I'm recovering from burnout right now. And I was this caretaker. And, now talking to, Jackie's keynote is all about going after your dreams, rewriting your story, which it's just so powerful. When you said our stories are nothing more than an interpretation of our life events, and we get to rewrite them. I am putting that up on my whiteboard right here, and I'm going to look at that every day because I am in the process of rewriting my story. So everything that I just felt so inspired by everything that you talked about, and just discovering our zone of genius, and yeah, and just going after it. So thank you. Thank you so much. I'm excited to jump into the next one.
Let's go. Wow. Jackie, how is that to hear? And before I hear from you, I just want to share with everybody that in our prep call, right, you just shared, I lived in 4 continents. And then we're like, Jackie, I want to know which ones. And now you started with, I'm born in Africa. And almost in every story, you hear it back, right? So the power of specificity and the power of stories, the coolness that just vibrates through specific life events. Jackie, how was this to listen to?
No, I am so honored is the right word, right? I mean, it really is. I feel so touched by everyone's comments, and it just, it feels, I mean, my heart's open to all of you because I feel like I've hopefully touched you, which is what we're all striving to do. So thank you. Thank you all. I take your comments to heart and so seriously, and I so appreciate you sharing them all. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, take it in. You totally deserve it. You so rocked it. Yeah, you were so willing to be. You were so willing to be. And sometimes, and I just want to say this to every single one of you, right? I just had a call with someone who graduated, and she said, Lori, if you have to grade me, what number would you give? I'm like, I'm just not gonna do that. Like, and she's like, come on, come on. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not. Everybody is in their own path, right? Everybody is on their own path. And you all like really, really leaned into the path. Like, don't think other people like they look so confident. Everybody's going through their own experience and everybody's leaning into their next level. And everybody in this group is brave because of that. So it's so, so beautiful. So really take all those beautiful words in because it's because you were willing to do that. You were willing to be that version of yourself. So let's go to Nilsa. Mari.
Thank you. I was unmuting it. So something that really hit me like a hammer on a head, bam. It was what she said about the Amy Cuddy, the Harvard professor, how you position yourself when you're going in public. Because I remember the last time I was in Scottsdale, I was so intimidated by so many things that I started crying. And I'm like, what the shit? You're such an old grown-up woman and you're crying. And it's like, how can she know, or how can she provide us information that she doesn't know, but they're so critical, of your mindset of preparing yourself when you're going to a meeting, that you're going to give 100%. What a great reminder, that you need to give it all. The narrative of how she knit the stories as she went through the storytelling, through the speech, but also her telling about, hey, I was listening to the CEO of Delta, and I'm trying to click on it and try to find it immediately. I'm like, what the heck did he say that was hitting her so much? So I'll just leave it there. Thank you, Nilsa. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so good. Charlene.
Well, Nilsa, I was very influenced by my stepmother, and she used to quote someone, I think she was a radio talk show host from years ago. Life is not a dress rehearsal. And you really embodied that today, because you just had to go and you just had to leap. And there are no dress rehearsals. We might think they're dress rehearsals, but the only time that real transformation and change happens is when you hit the stage, when it happens in real time, whatever it is, either on stages or in personal conversations. When things actually happen is when change is possible, not when we're thinking about it. So I loved your stories. I'm familiar with your stories, and I loved the 100 years, because it's now actually incorporated into my own speech in a very unique and interesting way that you helped me remember. And I put like 3 stories in my story library while you were talking, because there were things that I know spark what I am creating as well. And I just love your message, loved your talk, and keep going.
Yeah, isn't that cool, right?
Thank you.
Someone else is sharing and other people are getting something from it. And it's not always the thing you think. That's the freedom of the audience. When you design it in a way, you deliver the platter of transformation, everybody is able to pull off what they want, what they need. That's not on you. And that's the power of transformational speaking versus motivational speaking. Linda.
Nilsa, whoops, my screen just went crazy. Nilsa, such a difference in you today. I've seen you speak before, and you were a powerhouse. You didn't have notes. The fear did not show on your face. You had a confidence about you that was beaming, and everything that you've learned over this time, because I know you work very hard on your development, personal development, and working on your business and establishing that, and it all came through today. Everything that you've done up to now. It was a beautiful job. I really enjoyed it and could see your growth. You're there.
Yeah, yeah. It's so cool. It's so cool. And I think, Nilsa, if you give permission, in the backlog of the speaking blueprint, we have some talks so other people can go through it. Everybody who spoke today is able to get in there if you want to. And then, Nilsa, if you're open, we can add like all of yours, because you started and now you're doing this. And I think the transformation of the transformation will be just as inspiring as the transformation itself. Because I think, Linda, you started with Nilsa, is that correct? In the beginning, right? So you both know each other's transformations. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Naomi.
I agree so much with Linda. The energy was incredible. I was so sucked into that confidence and that like conviction that you spoke with, and that really made me trust you. Um, yeah, I love the conversational style, and I love how you shared about the power position. I'm definitely going to do that. I've been practicing something like that as well in my own life, and it has to do with a little sword that I got at a flea market. But anyway, story for another day. I love the 3 C's. You're so cool how you love numbers. And I kind of relate to that, especially with the questions that you ask, which also was very, very engaging for me. I love when people ask me questions because it gets my brain really triggered, and it's just one of my favorite ways of communicating. Um, so I love how you ask, like, like, how does the next 100 years look like? What does the next 100 years look like in my industry as someone who's kind of like pivoting and rebuilding my business? And also, I have a fear. I grew up having with a fear of numbers, and also growing up in poverty with this kind of really unhealthy relationship with money. I'm rebuilding that, like rewriting that story, Jackie. So I really relate to a lot of the things that you're saying, and it gives me the confidence to really go forward and rewrite that story and create my compelling future in my way. So it all around just absolutely incredible. Loved it. Thank you so much for all the gems.
There you go. Oh yeah, isn't this fun, Jackie? You're on mute, Jackie. There you go.
Sorry, my dog just started barking, so maybe pause. No, I'm going to echo some of the statements before. I mean, Nilsa, it was so wonderful to see you on stage without notes because you spoke from the heart, and I felt your authenticity, and I loved your stories. I mean, you pulled me in and you gave me such great nuggets, but I really felt you this time. I really did. I mean, you have arrived. You did what we, are all trying to do, kind of pivot in the moment and bring in a story from that segment of time that can help convey your message. And you did it brilliantly and seamlessly. So bravo. I think you were exceptional. I really do. Congratulations.
Yeah, let's go. And then to echo a little bit on that, like Nilsa, like, and this is what only Linda and Jackie know, right? Like we came before, we got in the back seat or the backstage, and then Nilsa, you were like, okay, everybody practiced like the first couple of seconds, and then you were like, okay, right? And then you go on, and you were there. Like the level of certainty, the level of energy, the level of momentum from the beginning, and you kept it, woman. You kept it. You kept it. It was so, I was like sitting here with like, oh, this is what the Speaking Academy is about. It's not about writing a perfect script. It never is. It's about understanding how to pull stories and how to adapt in the moment. And life just gave you the opportunity to practice with exactly that. Is give you the place where Wi-Fi may not have been perfect, and there you are, perfect internet. Is not having a printer because you could not print your script, and that was exactly what you needed. And you rocked it, and now you have personal proof because you didn't have to choose. Life gave you that opportunity. You didn't have to choose. You didn't have to choose, am I ready? Like, no, you have to be. And that's what we're all training for. You're all training for the unexpected, because the biggest stages, in my personal experience and with very many people that I work with, is never the one that you apply to and book in 3 months from now. Is the phone call you get because something changed, because some slot needs to happen, because there's an opportunity right here, right now, right here, right now. And you will be the one who says, you know what? I know I got it. I know how to create my aim. I know how to pull my stories from the story library, how to articulate myself, how to feel confident right in the moment, because you've been practicing it for however long you need to practice it to feel that you have that. For some people, it takes 10 rounds. For some people, 1. And wherever you are on the journey, just know that it's possible, and that when you radiate from that light, that something comes through you, and it's so real and it's so beautiful. And that's what you all felt today. And I'm so proud of all of you. Like, you have no idea. Like, isn't this the coolest place to be right now? Like, wow, 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 wow. For all of you who spoke today, you're going to get your MP4, your full video of your exact talk, so you're able to rewatch it for yourself. You can share it with friends. If you want, we can share it in the backlog as well, so everybody who's ever going to go through the blueprint will be able to watch your story as well. I would highly suggest it, because the transformation you are now able to create, you're able to create for further people. And just as a super quick story, I know we're on time, but I think this is worth it. I was having an in-person training here in the Netherlands, and The person that was training watched the whole entire blueprint, and she watched a video of one of the speaking graduates from, I think, like 5 groups ago. A guy called Dami Lara. You're able to watch it for yourself. He's got a talk that is named like From Fear to Finish Line, and he's sharing about his fear of water, and that therefore he went to do like a triathlon. He thought, I'm gonna go all in, I'm gonna get rid of this fear. And the woman that I was working with here in the Netherlands, she had to do an MRI scan. And she's claustrophobic, and she really needed to go through this. And the evening before, because she was like, I did not really prepare for this meeting with Lori, I need to watch. So she watched that whole video, and she went in, and his affirmations that Dami Lara was sharing were, I can, I will, I must, it's done. I can, I will, I must, it's done. I can, I will, it's must, I must, it's done. And what got her through the MRI, which she truly was not able to do before, because she was crying after 10 seconds, they pulled her out and say they had to reschedule her doctor's appointments because she's so claustrophobic that she cannot be in small environments. She was lying in this MRI for 15 minutes, which for her was like 3 lifetimes. And the only thing that she was thinking was, I can, I will, I must, it's done. The only thing that got her through was a guy that did his public speaking graduation, like maybe half a year ago. She watched it. They did not know each other, and it got her through her MRI. Like the power that you have with your words, you have no idea what transformation you're able to create. So with your permission, it will be stored in the backlog, and people in the future will be having MRIs because of you or other life events that your words made the difference in that day. For everybody who's going to be in 4 weeks, you know what's ahead of you. And you know that authenticity is what really grabs. And whatever you're going to do is that we're going to stand behind each other. You're not on your own. This is a team effort. And I hope you really look through these talks again and really pull out, like, what can I use to create my story, to go through it? You all have your own blueprint. And it's now to write down the thoughts, the feelings, the stories, the transitions, the openings, the close, to make your masterpiece. I'm so proud of you. Your story is worth sharing. And let's end off with a video. Something that we always do, right? Share the 3 things. The first one, what was the biggest aha moment or breakthrough for you today? And that can be by listening to someone else, even if you were a speaker, but it can also be the words you just heard about someone saying something super profound about your performance, not just on what you did, but who you are. What was the biggest breakthrough? Number 2, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do before we see each other next? And number 3, who? Who in this group are you most grateful for and why?
Okay.
Powerful, powerful question. So make that video. And for everybody who spoke, I would love to see you celebrate. I would love from you to see a video and a photo of you celebrating this. Let's not forget that as mission-driven achievers, we are always looking for the next. And this is one to stand with for a bit, because this is very profound what's happening for you right now. So go do that. Love to see them, and
Bye, everyone.
see you on the journey. See you next week.